Welcome to the video for day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival 2024, and it's been a good festival for the punters at the moment. A lot of odds-on favourites going in. This is the time where it now starts to get a little bit tough. So if you are having a good festival and winning decent sums of money, please don't give it back to the bookmakers, because they can afford it and they'll try and squeeze it out of you at any chance they get. So if you are ahead, make sure you tack quite a lot of it away and don't be giving it back on the tougher races at Cheltenham as we go through the week. Thursday is quite a difficult day. It's very challenging, but if you do get a few winners, you're going to get decent prices on them. So I'll give you my views on those 7 races. We do have one double running on Thursday. If I have any more bets, I'll put them up on separate videos. Now, at the moment, we're slightly down, but we're not getting annihilated or anything like that. We did have a double, a £20 double on Gaelic Warrior, who won, and Cocoa Beach, who's the race has been abandoned. So the £70 back that we get there, that's not really what we're looking for on these videos. We need returns of around £250, £300. When you're betting out of a bank of 400, you can't afford to be getting returns of 70, because you're going to need to back 5 winning bets, and that's not the gig. So it's a bit disappointing that Cocoa Beach isn't well, the race hasn't been run, so we've got the £70 return. So I'll give you my thoughts on 7 races on the Thursday. Very competitive, like I say. Be careful, and if you are ahead, be sure to keep most of it in your pocket. I'll get on to the 7 races now. So the Turners, I really fancied Iroko for this early in the season, and he does turn up here. And I'm hopeful that even after a bad prep, he can run a really big race. And even though I've got a video bet on Facile Vega in the double, I'd love to see Iroko win. It's just the preparation of the horse hasn't been great, really, because he was injured. He jumped amazingly well on his first run over fences. Then he got an injury and he hasn't been seen since, and that's the problem that I have with backing Iroko tomorrow. My money is already on him, anti-post, and it's great that he's got here. And if he won, well, that would just be an amazing result for me, really, personally. But I can't, on my videos, put up a horse who's had a preparation like that. Now, Facile Vega, he hasn't run that well over fences, but I think he's been crying out for a step up in trip. He's got a good record at the Chalk. He's won the bump, but he was second in the Supreme, and I think he should run a very, very big race. And he's going to go off a silly price now with all these favourites winning. He probably, he could go off 2-1, but this is a deep race, and Factifile didn't get it all his own way in the Brown Advisory, and there's no way Facile Vega's going to get his own way here, because Ginny's Destiny and Grey Dawning are 2 more very big rivals in this race. I'd love to see Iroko win, I really would, but I think the way things are going this week, you have to really seriously fancy Facile Vega in this race. Ginny's Destiny's improved out of all recognition. Grey Dawning's run some really, really good races, and I think this is the right race, the 2 mile 4 Turners. But yeah, I think in truth, it does look, unless Iroko can put it up to him, which I'd love, I think Facile Vega would be my selection in the first. In the Pertemps, it's really tough. You could just go through the whole race and pick out any one, and you'd probably have a reasonable chance. Now, I was really keen on one in this, but I don't think he's going to get a run. He was the second reserve, that was White Rhino. Now, if he did get in, I would fancy him, but I don't think he's going to get in. So I've looked at Farouk Delaine, I've looked at Gay Cool, who's hard to say, probably isn't spelt the way I've said that, so you'll be looking down the field wondering where he is. But yes, just a a minefield of a race, this Pertemps, and especially on this sort of ground. It looks like the Skeletons have got Le Milos well handicapped. That's not unusual. I don't know if they've got a special relationship with the handicapper. They seem to get better handicapped horses than everybody else. It's really strange. But in truth, I think if you're trying to pick the winner of this, then you're in the wrong game, really, unless you've got some sort of information. Like if someone gives me some information overnight or tonight that I can go at this race with a bit more than I've got at the moment, then I can't be making a selection, really. I can't advise people to be betting in this race because I don't have a strong opinion in the race myself, and it's folly to be going into these sort of races, just betting for the sake of it, and I really just don't fancy anything in the Pertemps. The Ryanair's a great race. Very, very open. I'd like to have a really strong opinion. I do like Ahoy Senor, and I think that Lucinda Russell's horses have run well this week. He'd be just about my selection. I think he's a little short. I think he should have been about 14, 16 to 1, where he's only 10, 11 to 1. I think he'd just about be my selection. He was running a great race in the Cotswold Chase when his stirrup leather broke and he didn't finish the race. I think he has got a very good chance. He'd be my selection. Now, Protectorate will have his chance. Envoy Allen won the race last year, and he's won 3 of the last 4 times he's been to the festival, so he's definitely got a big chance as well. Stage Star won at the festival last year in the Turners. So this is a race where you can't rule out very many very easily. It's also complicated by the fact that Bambridge, close to favourite, we don't know if he's going to run yet because he doesn't really go well on soft ground. So he could muddy the waters even further if he does run. Are you willing to take the risk that he could bomb out on the ground? But like his stablemate yesterday, Lark in the Morning, wasn't supposed to like soft ground and absolutely bolted in. So very difficult to make an assessment of Bambridge and his chance. I think I'm happy to stick with Ahoy Senor. I know he's a bit of an outsider in this race, but I'll stick with Ahoy Senor at around 14 to 1, and I hope that he can run a big race for Lucinda Russell. The Stayers Hurdle, I don't fancy the favourite Tehupu myself. Everyone says he'll love the ground, and I'm sure that I don't know if Gordon Elliott will still be looking for his first winner come this race, but he is a solid favourite. But I've always had this opinion about Tehupu that he doesn't quite stay 3 miles, and I think he's going to need to in this race because Crambo will be finishing, and there's no question that Noble Yates will be finishing as well. Emmett Mullins, when he has a target for a horse, is the best trainer of a horse for a target. Well, I suppose people say, well, of course it's Willie Mullins, but Emmett can really train them for one day. This horse has won a Grand National, and he could be getting prepared for another Grand National, but I have this feeling that Noble Yates could win this. I think he's a great each way bet at 7 to 1. I don't see him out the frame. I think he'll run a big race. Now, whether he's quite good enough, you can't even write off Sir de Burley in this race, and he won it last year, and he always comes good at Cheltenham. You wouldn't write him off. You wouldn't write all the other older horses out like Dashel Drosh or Paisley Park. It really is a tough race, and Tehupu won't get it his own way, and at the prices, I'm not sure I could take 2 to 1 on a horse like him. Well, I wouldn't be anyway. I don't think he'll stay, but even if I fancied him, he's very short. So yeah, for me in the Stairs, it's got to be Noble Yates each way. A really tough race, and like I say, I think the favourite is very short at the price he is. The Plate was my big winning race last year with 20-1 winner in Seddon, and he was my big win of the season last year. This year, I don't have a big opinion in the Plate, as in a fancy. I don't fancy Billy. I know he's got all the form in the book to win. I just don't fancy him. I'm not a big fan of John Joe O'Neill as a trainer, and I'm not a big fan of John Joe O'Neill Jr., and I'm prepared to let him run. If he wins at that price, then he can win without my money on him at that price. Theatre Man, I would prefer him out the top two in the market, because his trainer is just coming into form. He ran really well last time out, so he has a big chance. But for me, I can't see an angle into the Plate at the moment. I mean, I can revisit the race and have a look and see if I can see one further down lurking. I mean, I did look at James de Burley and Glen Gooley. I suppose Glen Gooley must have a chance on his Thyestes run. James de Burley, this will be about the right distance for him. But at the prices, I can't really see much at the moment. Now, if I do, I will put a bet up in this race. There's more chance of a bet in this race than there is in the Pertemps, but I can't nail down a selection at the moment. But I would not be with the favourite, that's for sure. Now, he could win, but at 3-1 or 100-30, he can win without my money as well. The Mayor's Novice is a huge clash of three brilliant mares, and two of them are going to leave the festival beaten tomorrow. All three camps are really bullish, and although I think visually, when I've been watching the races, I've thought Jade de Grugy, I've never heard the Calantra team so confident about Brighter Days Ahead. Now, the Malins camp are just romping the festival, so there'd be no question that Jade de Grugy could win this race, and perhaps people would say she's the value because she's second favourite. But when you look at the form of Brighter Days Ahead and the talk about Brighter Days Ahead, you have to take that into account. The British horse, Dysart Enos, has done absolutely nothing wrong and will get £5, has been well campaigned to avoid the £5 penalty, must have a big chance on her form at Aintree last season, and her form over the course this season over hurdles, where she won a decent handicap as well. But it just looks like the two Irish horses are going to be the two to concentrate on, because the Irish are having such a dominant festival. I do think that Brighter Days Ahead, the confidence behind her is almost infectious. It almost makes you feel like you have to back her, because you don't hear them this bullish very often, and they really, really fancy this horse. But it would be no shock if Jade de Grugy turned her over, because Willie Mullins can do no wrong, and she'll have Paul Townend in the Plate, and she will give Brighter Days Ahead a real race, that's for sure. This is no gimme. No matter how big a horse and how much hype you have, this is not going to be an easy win. But like I say, three really good horses here, but there's only one of them going to win. I think I've put the bet up on Brighter Days Ahead. It's not going to be easy, and it's probably a watching race rather than a betting race. But I just fancy Brighter Days Ahead to come out on top. The Kim Muir, the final race of the day. We've been quite lucky in this race in the past. Now, I really do fancy the favourite. I know the way you're thinking, at 4-1. But 4-1 skinny. I think he's been running in better class races than this one. The worry would be he's never run over this distance, but he has got the absolute ideal jockey in Derek O'Connor, who won on Corbett's Cross earlier in the week. He is a big positive in this race when it's amateur riders. I would think there's a possibility I could buck. I know the way you're thinking at 4-1 in the video bets. I do fear, there's 3 that I've looked at that I do fear a little bit. Walker Clan, who's won over the course, will have been primed for the race by Henry de Bromhead, who's just had the second in Monte Star, and he's had very few horses that haven't run well this week. He's had the second, third and fourth in the Mayor's Hurdle, so Henry's horses are flying. Walker Clan's around 11, 12-1. He's got a chance for sure with a good, with Gleeson on board. I think Where It All Began for Gordon Elliott is going to have a chance as well, and Daily Present for Paul Nolan. They all have chances. How I'm going to play this race, I'm not really sure. I do think that the favourite has got a bit of a class edge, but if the ground's very soft, I'm wondering if that class edge will be able to be brought to the fore. And you just wonder about his stamina as well over 3 miles too. So it's a race I'm going to have a longer look at, but I think I may back, I know the way you're thinking, and have a smaller bet on one of the other 3, but I'm not sure at the moment. But I think I know the way you're thinking could be just a bit too classy for these handicappers. He's got in here off 145, and I think he has got a fairly decent chance in this race. So the Thursday it's far more competitive, I think. I don't think there's going to be any real odds-ons on Thursday. There's potential for a couple of big matchups. I think the Turners is a good race. The Ryanair is a good race. The Stairs will be a good race. But the matchup I'm looking forward to the most is definitely the Mayor's Novice. Brighter Days Ahead, Jade de Grugy and Dysart Enos is going to be a really good race. I hope your Cheltenham is going well. It does seem like a lot of punters are looking like the Akas could be coming in if El Fabiolo can win as well. So hopefully you're one of those punters who's winning quite a lot this week. And long may it continue. I love to see the bookies getting beaten up. So hopefully you are having a good week. I'll be back to you if I have a bet for the Kim Muir or one of the other races later tonight. At the moment, on the Thursday, just the one bet, £25 win double on Facile Vega 11-4 and Brighter Days Ahead, which was put up earlier. So if the prices have changed, then that were the prices when I put that bet up. They were the prices. So hope you're doing well. Back to you tomorrow with the preview for Friday. Bye for now.